Hello, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. I have a very special guest today from MIT College. Let me see whether my mic and my video is working with everyone. Am I audible? Just can you please confirm? Okay. All right, perfect. So hello everyone, welcome again. Welcome to the webinar. We have the webinar is all about the alumnus from MIT College. Savar Mehrotra is with me. Welcome to the webinar, Savar.
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me over.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing really good. So, Savar, I'll tell you about the webinar. This webinar is just for the campus ninjas and for the students who are right now studying at MIT, your college itself. And we got many requests from the college students that we want to learn, we want to know what exactly our alumni are doing. So
Okay,
it was
sure.
really nice to get in touch with you, and I'm sure that we can share some useful insights for everyone.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, so the agenda of the webinar is a career counseling for the students of MIT students. We will be discussing Savar's college journey, his internship, and his time at Amazon.
Okay,
So,
sure.
Savar, it's going to be very good if in case you can introduce yourself to the juniors of yours.
Okay, hey guys, how's it going? I'm one of your seniors, as you call it, all alumni. I'm from the 2018 batch. I had read computer science and engineering in our college, that's MIT. And post that, I had a stint with Samsung R&D for a year, and I joined Amazon after that. And it's been more just a month above a year that I've been working at Amazon now. There's an
Perfect.
SD there.
SG at Amazon. Perfect. So let's just discuss everything from the very start. Like what all like you did your computer science from MIT, right?
Yeah.
Did you had your computers in your 11th and 12th, or you just started with the computers in
No,
the
no,
regular
no.
college?
I didn't have. I of course did take sciences, but I didn't have. I did not study computers before this. Even in my ICSE, that is class 10, we had. I think usually you have an option of taking computers versus economics or something else. So I
Yeah.
was an economics student, not a computer science student. So this was the first time in college that I read. I was studying computer science.
So you already had this thing in your mind that you want to do something in computers. Yeah. You were only just exploring things and then started looking
I
into it.
mean, yeah, given a choice and how the industry, the world was moving, everything was leaning towards tech, it did make computer science did seem like a more logical choice. That time, we weren't that very wise as to know, okay, what was going on in the industry exactly, but that seemed like a more logical choice. But along the way, as it progressed, I enjoyed it more and it luckily clicked. That was the
Like,
right engineering stream for me.
you chose the right path. Just one more question. I nearly skipped that. From which batch you are in from?
Oh, 2018. The
2018 batch.
Yeah,
Like
2018 exact.
so, it's been 2 years passing your
Yeah.
college. Oh, that's really good. So okay, you already have your started with your computer science journey. I would like to know what all achievements did you gain during your college time? Was there something that you gained?
To be honest, I was a very regular student, a normal student as you call it. No great achievements as of now. No hackathons that I've won, or no crazy code chef rank. What is that? Star rating five
That's
or
our
something
rating.
that I had. I was a very normal student. I didn't have anything, just the regular kid in college. But whatever I did, I always try learning it for the skill rather than just passing it. And I mean, just studying and passing the exam.
That's perfect. That's perfect. So when was the first time you got your first internship, and which was that company?
Um, I think I mean, the serious internship was back in fourth year only, in the time when we were asked to do an internship. I think it's part of the course requirement
Course.
as part of a credit. So I had interned with Triple IT Hyderabad that time with one of their research labs, software engineering research center, for around 2-3 months. That was, I think, the first proper internship that I had.
Okay, so you just mentioned that the first internship that you did was in your fourth year.
Yeah, that was was the hardcore one. I mean, in third year
Hardcore.
and all, also we summer and all we tried different things,
Yeah.
but it wasn't as intense as the one which the fourth year one was way more serious. So
Generally, what I've seen in the recent time, like students, once they are done with their first year, even in the second years, they are very much concerned about the internship. Like they need to, they explore, they do things, they reach out to people to get the internship. Is it necessary to get an internship
I
at that
mean,
time?
of course, it's good that you be enthusiastic about learning what's happening in the industry, because it's very different what happens in college and what happens. I mean, what happens in the industry, right? So it's always good to get an internship, but you shouldn't go crazy over it, because trust me, your internships really don't matter. If you've done even zero internships and you come for a interview at Amazon, there's no problem. You should be allowed, given you meet the criteria, to sit for the interview and get a fair interview.
Exactly. So, if in case a person is not getting an internship in his second year or maybe in his third year, generally students what do is they are very demoralized with this part, like they are not getting the internships, they are not sure whether they'll be getting the jobs after that or not. Like you mentioned that you started your journey from fourth year itself, you got your first good internship from triple IT Hyderabad in your fourth year. Like students can do that same, right?
Of course. See, if you know what you want to, there are different streams. Even let's say computer science, there are different streams, different granular streams. Let's call it. So you can excel in say machine learning and AI or something along those lines, or you can excel along development as such. So, and of course, apart from that, also if you want to get into say something on the business end plus tech, even that is there, right? I know a lot of people from my batch who went into product management, that kind of a stream. So if you know what you want to do, and if you chase that initially itself, good enough. But if you're just doing it because you want that in your resume and because it might help in future, I don't know. I mean, it makes more sense rather learning something, probably practicing, improving your coding skills, or trying to explore what you actually want to do first, and then apply for an internship. But obviously, we all of us have to do at least one internship because of the course requirement. I'm not sure if it's changed right now, but I
Still
don't
there,
think
it's
it.
still
Yeah,
there,
it
it's still there.
might still be there.
Yeah.
So at least on that front, you focus on trying to do what you want to, what area of computer science you want to get into. Because I remember even during placements, one thing that did happen was that people who were very much interested, say, in the networking area of things and computer networks, that, and I think Cisco and Citrix are one of those companies which do hire along those areas in our college. So they did focus for that, and they reflected that in their interview too. They said that this is the work I've done, and that really helped them get through the interview more seamlessly. But it was not the deciding criteria. I'll say that they did cover the basics. That was like a cherry on the topping.
Perfect. Savar, how did you manage to learn the basics of programming? Like, from where did you got those instructions?
So one thing very obviously programming, it's like how you learn to drive a vehicle. Say you learn to drive a aircraft, okay? You can learn the theory with all these fancy systems that you have and all of that, but there are X amount of flying hours that are required before you are signed off as a pilot. It's a very similar thing with coding. You need to show more bias for action. You can learn all the theory that you want. You can memorize all the algorithms that you want, but unless you write code for it, you will not understand what's actually happening. And that's very important. The more and more you practice, and the more and more you practice honestly, you will learn better. So bias for action is the keyword here that you should focus on.
So, were the teachers helpful from the college to learn these basics?
Yeah, we did have lab teachers and all who were helpful, but one thing that does happen in college is that the amount of practice that might be required for this, and of course, that extra mile that you need to go in order to get really proficient at this. So that I think it's not possible probably to have it at the college curriculum and how college curriculum is structured these days. So you need to go that extra mile to do it yourself too. College
Okay,
isn't sufficient.
college is insufficient. That's fine. But if in case a person is having that will, he can
Yeah,
easily,
of course.
figure out the things. They can learn it from the internet and from the teachers. I mean, the resources are everywhere. The
Yep.
only thing is the passion, the empathy to learn.
Yeah, that's true.
That's perfect. So you just mentioned that you never won any hackathons. How many hackathons you actually participated in?
Be honest, my friends did push me in the second or third year to participate. I think there's Microsoft Code Fundo or something that
Yeah,
happens,
yeah, yeah.
and I was like, I'm not sitting for 2 straight days because it's if you have a plan and you go for it. See, don't the thing that don't go and participate in
So,
hackathons. You
so
must.
there is, I guess there is some discrepancy
Okay,
in the
I'll
voice.
just let me just take that probably. Is it better now?
It's better. It's better. It's good.
Give me a minute. I can't hear you.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, it's fine now. Okay, this sounds better.
Yeah, this sounds better.
Let's go ahead. So don't take this as a thing that don't sit for hackathons and don't attend hackathons because that's not the thing I'm hinting at. But it does help, of course. Develop. You learn how to develop software applications or app or whatever, and it's very different when you put your knowledge to practice. So hackathons do allow that. One part which I did miss out on was didn't participate in hackathons. But again, just don't participate because you want a certificate. Have a plan. Say that okay, even though say honestly, 2 days are not enough for a hackathon. The people who win have a solid plan. Okay, this is what I'm going to make. This is what I'm going to build. So go with that. If you have a solid plan and you know what you're going to do during that thing and do it seriously, it's of course going to help.
So
Just
students from MIT generally take part in the hackathons. They are proactive in that.
they in from our college.
Yeah, from your college.
Yeah, I think yeah, many people do it, but in the second, third year, people are doing it because let's just go and see what it is, and then every at the end of the day, what it used to become was how good your presentation is. So don't do that. Try honestly participating in hackathons. That's what I would suggest.
Definitely, definitely. If in case you're going for the hackathon, you need to learn. You need to know the motto behind the hackathon. That's really true. So, before you cracked Amazon, like I have many questions regarding this. Which all technologies, which all languages were you proficient in?
I mean, I had learned an array of things, say C++, Java, and all we learned in college, of course. Python here and there, it did come in use during my internship at Triple IT Hyderabad and all. I think that's about it. I mean, apart from these three, I wasn't very proficient at anything else. I didn't know any fancy functional programming language or something like that. You be good at one language and you know it inside out. It's because I'll tell you what happens honestly in the industry. Uh, Say today you join XYZ company, right? It's never like this is the framework, exact framework that they're going to use. There's always going to be a layer on top of that. I worked with Samsung, I've worked with Amazon. Both of them, they have their own frameworks that they work on. So you have to learn when you get into a new company. So your learning, the pace at which you learn depends on your computer science proficiency, your programming knowledge. And trust me, if you know one language properly, the similar concepts are applied more or less everywhere. So the same paradigm, say OOP, it's not going to change whether you do it in Java, C++, Python, or Ruby, or whatever you want. So stick to the paradigm, one paradigm that say OOP or even functional programming, and stick to that. Even functional programming these days, I've seen in the industry, there's a new demand for functional programmers because a lot of the applications and software that are used in the industry can perform much better when shifted to functional programming over the conventional OOP paradigm.
That's informative. Just because I have seen students, what they do is before going on for any big company, what they want to do is they want to do C++, they want to do Java, they want to do Python, they want to do machine learning, competitive programming, front end, back end, React, this, that, everything. Like they are getting on with all those things packed in a tiffin box before they just went for the interview. This is what is going on. So a student should actually be calm. They should stick to the basics. They should just be good with the proficient language. That's all, right?
Yeah, stick to
That's
your
how
basics and stick to your strengths.
stick with your strengths. That's perfect. Uh, Sava, you did two courses with Coding Ninjas. One was the interview preparation, and second was the machine learning. Right?
Yeah, that's right.
How was your experience with both the courses?
So one of the main reasons I had joined this was because I had seen, I think, one of the founders of Coding Ninja, Ankush Singla.
Ankush Bhaiya. Yeah,
Yeah,
Ankush Singla.
yeah. I saw one of his videos and it really clicked. I mean, the way he explained, it was really intuitive and it clicked. So that was one of the main reasons I joined. And even when I started learning, when got introduced to machine learning, and I was like, hey, I should take a deep dive into this. I was like, let me start with this because
it really clicked when I had seen his previous videos, and the way he explains it is quite clear, and he's very good with his concepts that way.
So you joined the courses in your fourth year only, or you joined it before, like
So
interview preparation one?
fourth year summer, I was like everyone does, prepares for placements. I did want a disciplined thing to practice on, so that's when I joined the interview prep course. And I think this the machine learning course was more out of interest to learn. And this was, I think, when I was working in Samsung or something. So while working, I was just like, okay, let me do this. Let me learn a new technology or skill in more depth.
So what would be the best time to go on for the courses like interview preparation for a normal student?
Firstly, you need to. So one very important thing I can tell you is, you know where you stand, right? As an individual, you don't need anyone else's this thing that okay, how good you are or how bad you are. The resume that you create, even in the strengths or weakness section, you need to write something. Okay, so if you write data structures and algorithms there, you know how good you are there. Or if you write C++, say basics of a language, you know how good you are there. So start from there. If you're weak at something and you think that this is very much necessary as a fundamental when I appear for my interviews and all, then you need to work on that and say take the appropriate course. You guys might be having a course for say C++ or say data structures algorithms exclusively. Then you go for that instead of interview preparation. But if you think, okay, I'm at a decent level here, but what I just need is a brush up of skills and I need to get in my zone, then I think the interview preparation course would be something which is more appropriate.
Sometimes I've seen this thing, Savar, that a student might say this thing that, yeah, I'm not confident, but I know this language. At that point of time, what do you think? Is he like 60% there, 40% this side, or he has to again start from the very scratch?
I don't.
What exactly that person should do? Like he's
Uh,
not very much confident. Like
yeah.
he's not able to go on and solve the good questions that code chef maybe code forces. He's not able to perform good in those tests. And but on a parallel note, he knows this thing that yes, I'm good with the single language.
Trust me, I don't even have a profile. Probably I might have a profile on Code Forces or whatever that is, but I've never used it. Or even CodeChef as such, I've never used it because that's not required. I don't
Students,
think.
I've seen students saying this thing that we have to mention we are a 4-star or a 5-star coder at our resume so that the company will be seeing us.
I'll be honest with you. It does matter from certain company to company. I've appeared for a Google interview too. I've
Okay.
done all the 5 rounds of Google that were there. Google, of course, the level that of questions that they were asking required, say, a deeper dive into the data structures and algorithm concepts, right? So Google, Code Nation, there are even, I think, there's another company that requires, even the Code Chef company that is there, I've forgotten the name, Direct Type.
Direct eye.
Yeah. So if you go for such companies, then of course, I'm not going to lie to you. You do require that level of competitive coding, and they have a more they focus on these things more. But the normal companies, I don't think every company has their own ask, and most companies don't require you to be code chef 4-star or 5-star or code force or anything like that. Just know your basics well, to be good with writing algorithms, time complexities, uh, writing clean code. That's very important because a lot of people cannot write clean code, and that's a huge red flag. Writing, knowing where what your code is doing, what your program is doing is very important.
Very important. That's perfect. Okay, so let's just talk something about your college again. Um Students generally what they do is they stick with the CGPAs. I have seen students from MIT who are very much into we have to score a certain CGPA to be eligible for some companies and stuff. They are moreover they are not learning everything. What the main focus of them is the priority focus is to get a good CGPA. Have you ever considered that part?
So again, see, criteria, of course, you have to meet. Every company, if you don't meet a criteria and be like, hey, I'll just forget CGPA, that's not done because no one's going to allow you to sit for the company. Number one. Number two, for your masters, it does make a huge difference. I think CGPA counts a lot when you apply
Yeah,
for your masters. But again,
I'm a good college,
if you
definitely.
know that you want to do a masters, then focus on that. Focus on getting better at your academics, getting higher CGPA. So it's most streamlined the entry into a college that you want. But if you know that you want to work first and then probably stay in the industry for a few years, figure out where you want to head after that, then have a balance, learn the skills, and get a decent enough CGPA so that you can sit for the placements plus even apply for masters, but balance things. But again, depends on what you want to do and where you want to go.
But how is the things at MIT, your college?
I mean, people do run behind CGPA, but again, the person who wears the highest CGPA doesn't necessarily get into the best company. That's not how it goes, right? So at the end of the day, the skill when you sit for a company's interview, the skills matter more.
Perfect, perfect. Sir, Avi is asking, projects more or competitive programming, if FANG is ultimate aim, and how to apply for off campus?
FANG is the short of Facebook, Amazon.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, I can't comment about Facebook. Probably yeah, Netflix no. But again, if you're a fresher, straight out of college, no one expects you to have a next level project that you've done with NASA or something else. I'm pretty sure even Google, they don't expect you to have an outstanding project. If you're good with your coding, they'll invite you for an interview. You just need to approach them right. But at the same time, like I had mentioned, suppose you know what you want to do. You want to do machine learning as such, or you want to get into computer networks as such, and you want to focus on those companies. Then stick to your projects. Also, I mean, take your project seriously.
Perfect. Naman is asking, how to apply off campus for Amazon? Not on campus, it's off campus.
And, I applied off campus, have off campus hire. I told you I joined Amazon after a year. It's not very difficult. I think, especially now, Amazon is hiring a lot. You should reach out to your seniors or even any contact you have at Amazon and then probably ask them for a referral. And they'll be more than happy to give you one.
Again, I have a question. Does an internship help the cause?
I'm sorry, does a
Internship help the cause? Like, if in case we are doing some internship, will it help us to get a job?
Uh, of course, it does reflect. I mean, again, it's as simple as this, guys. It's the cherry on the top. It's good that you have it, but it's not all, because I know a lot of people who did not have any great internships. They got into the cream companies that come to our college, whatever you call day zero, day one. So that's not really required, but it does. It's always a cherry on the top.
Yeah, so for the first and second year students, they might not be knowing about the day zero and day one.
Okay. So what happens is that companies come as per, let's say there's companies fight for you. It's as simple as that. Companies want to come first because then they hire and then they block you,
They
right?
block you.
So always the companies which are the cream companies are preferred, and they are allowed to come before the non-cream companies generally.
So
That's
that is day zero.
yeah, that's day zero, day one. That's what you call.
Which all companies are there, Savar, who is hiring with MIT?
I don't remember. I think it's
At
changed.
your time, which was the best
Of course,
company, like
there's
day zero companies?
Microsoft, Amazon, Goldman was there. I think SanDisk was there. Apart from that, then Oracle, Citrix was there, and Oracle came later. Cisco was there.
That's good. I mean, each and every good company is coming to the campus.
Yeah, yeah. But there were companies which even were, I think, even companies like I think Nvidia, if I'm not wrong, used to come later on. I might be wrong because it's been a while. But even the good companies, even Samsung and all, came later on. I remember Samsung came mid in the middle. So it's not like all companies come, but most of the companies, 60% of the companies, let's say, rough figure, come during the initial days itself.
During your college time, you were placed at Samsung.
Okay, let me make this clear. So I was
Yeah,
not placed at Samsung again from college. I had
yeah.
got an internship offer in Cerner, and then I did apply for Samsung off campus.
Okay, you got a play. You got an internship from Cerner, India
Yeah, that's what I taken from college.
college.
And because I had missed out on the initial companies.
Day zero companies were missed at that time.
I didn't make it through. Let's keep it that way. And then I was more focused on, okay, if I'm not going on campus, I'm pretty sure off campus there will be opportunities. Let me now just move along with the internship, and then I'll figure it out from there. somewhere. So I think mid internship, I got an offer with Samsung, and then I decided to go ahead with that.
Oh, that's a very good thing that you told me. Just I would like to appreciate that. Like, if in case you're not getting a good company from your college, from the job point of view, but you took your time, you took what you got from that time, and then you again reapply to the companies.
Yeah, so that's what the thing is. Again, I tell people, your career is not that one company. Your career is going to be 40 years. There might be 100 companies, there might be one company in that. So don't be disheartened because this is what I've got from this campus and this is what my friend has got, and my friend has got a package with X amount of rupees, and I've got a package with say X by 2, X by 3, whatever. That's not how it goes. Your career is 40 years. At the end of the day, the winner is the person who's got what they actually want.
They want, they
Right?
want
Suppose
to.
you want to write code and you've got a company which is making you develop software applications, join that company and do well in that company. I'm pretty sure you'll rise faster than the rest of the people around you. If you want a company, a lot of people didn't want to write code post finishing their graduation in computer science. They wanted to get into wanted to get into consulting, or say even risk management or something like that, or say data sciences or machine learning. If you get that and your company is not paying you that X rupees package or whatever, don't be disheartened because your career is 40 years. At the end of the day, as and when you move along your career, you'll realize that this is not, your placements don't matter. How you work,
Exactly.
if, how you can sustain your work, that matters more.
The first thing that matters is what you want to do. Like, money will definitely be coming on the second hand. If in case I want to do be a web developer, but I'm having a machine learning job and getting paid, that's not what I want. I
Yeah,
have to do something else. I have to shift it eventually.
yeah. If you know what you want to do, then stick to that.
Students should actually listen to this thing. Like, everyone, I have seen the students, like, they are very much into, we have to crack Amazon, Microsoft on day one. They're not able to crack those companies, and they get disheartened that no, these companies are not for us. Then they'll be going on for the MS and stuff. I've seen those type of students. So definitely, if in case you want to do something, just work with it, trust your guts, you'll get it. Savar, I have a question from Rishabh Gautam. I'm in fifth semester and currently starting from basics of data structures and algorithms in Java. And problem with me is I'm unable to decide that which data structure should be used while solving the code. Exactly the thing that we were talking about.
Again, Rishabh, there are two aspects to it. So one is your problem solving competence, one is your data structures and algorithm competence, right? So problem solving is, like you mentioned, that this is the data structure I need to use where. So you need to work on that. So probably pick problems which are a little tricky and focus on that, where the data structure is not very explicitly told that, hey, go and use this data structure. So try focusing on that problem and try working on your problem solving skills. And again, you don't need to do 100 problems. Even if you do 5 problems or 10 problems and you understand them inside out, and probably do one thing. If you can do one problem with say 2 different types of data structures, do that. You will gain way more knowledge than someone just, finishing 100 problems just like that.
This actually shows, Rishabh, you are halfway through. You just have to go for the other half. You already know how you will be doing it. It's like you have to just solve the problems. I guess that's the right solution for that.
Yeah.
Perfect. Asavar, I also have one more question from Garvit. Suppose we join a mass recruitment company, and if we intend to change company after 3 years, how should we start preparing for a change?
Number one, I don't understand the thing. This is mass recruitment company. I got your point, but number one is that do you want to work in that company? Ask yourself that. Why do you want to join that company? Number one. And if you're joining that company, you said 3 years.
3 years, 3 years
Yeah,
working for
you
that
want to
company.
work there for 3 years. Trust me, even if I'm not going to take names here, but even if you join those mass recruitment companies, I've seen people who do well there also. So if you join any company, that's okay, that's not a problem. But if you get your skills right, the industry is going to hire you. That's for sure. If you can show that, okay, these are the skills, probably initially it might be a little difficult pushing your resume through, but if you can display it from other forms, probably get a certification from somewhere, or whatever, show some, actually show that, okay, these are the number of problems I've done, or these are the small projects I've worked on, and they actually reflect, they stand out. No company is going to say no to you. But don't be like, I'm going to stay here for 3 years, and I don't get the logic. If you want to change, and go for another
Start from
company.
the very day one, if in case that is the thing. Like 3 years staying with the company, and then you're thinking you already have this in your mind that you have to change, and still you're sticking there in the company for 3 years. That really matters. So, Gavit, you need to be very clear with this point. Perfect. Savar, let me just again revise this thing. You started your internship in your 4th year was with IIT Hyderabad, Triple IT Hyderabad, Triple IT Hyderabad. Then you got your first on campus with Cerner India. From there, you moved to Samsung, and from Samsung, it was Amazon, right?
Yeah, but sort of.
With sort of exactly. Okay, perfect. So if in case I'll talk directly about Amazon, just because many students are right now looking forward to hear this thing from you, could you please tell us your whole interview process of Amazon?
Okay, so I think first round was a coding round where I had to write code for the interviewer on the live code. That's an Amazon platform or something where you type and the person sitting there can see what happens. So that's a initial phone screen round
Yeah.
before they invite you in house for the in house interviews. So that is number one, and I think that was about data structures and algorithms per se. Again, the second interview was data structures algorithms. Third interview was again data structures algorithms. Fourth interview was more about the leadership principles and work culture. I mean, I had previous work ex, right?
Yeah.
So it might be a little different for me. Uh, I mean, go to the Amazon website and look it up how to interview with Amazon. The number one thing that comes up is leadership principles. Amazon says it explicitly. So that is one thing that was tested in my fourth round a little more. And the fifth round was again bar raiser. I got my count right? 5 rounds. So and the fifth round was again bar raiser, which was a mix of leadership principles plus my data structures and algorithms.
Okay, you just mentioned data structures algorithm, data structures algorithm, data structures algorithm, data structures algorithm till the 5th round. What the student is preparing is from day one, my project, my project, my project, my project.
Again, it depends, varies from company to company. Like I said, a Google or a Code Nation or a Direct I will actually want you to be very proficient at those questions which are asked in competitive programming competitions. But Amazon, it might come down a little bit more. They focus more on your concepts and actually how you can manifest that in code. When if you go to a company like say Cisco or something like that, I'm speaking from my interview experience, or even a Citrix also it was there, I think data structures algorithms to that depth. But say Oracle, it comes down a little bit more, and they focus on your broader computer science skills, say computer networks and say
Your
data.
theory part.
But mind you, there's no this thing even at Amazon. I know instances where people have been asked databases and computer networks. In fact, people there have been rounds where people have not been asked data structures and algorithms. They have been asked the internal working of, if people are aware, the vector in C++. What happens when the size goes over say n? How does it double? Explain the internal working. Prove this graph theorem to me. So it can be anything. But the point to note here is that it will never be out of your strengths. So any interviewer, any company will always want to focus on your strengths. So if you write on your resume that, hey, I'm very, very good at this, they are definitely going to ask you, you say I'm excellent at databases, they're going to definitely test you on that. So you need to be careful about what you write and always try to play with your strengths.
Definitely. If and whatever you are writing over your resume, they will be they will be asking the same questions from it. That's so true. I have a question from the Trisha. What would be good going forward? MS at top 20 in US college, or a SDE 2 role in a fast-paced startup in India after a work experience of 3+ years? Like
Uh,
is SDE 2 or some good college? It totally depends upon person to person.
To be honest, see, the only difference, Amazon, I'm talking about Amazon, an SDE who sits in Seattle versus an SDE who sits in Bangalore and Hyderabad does the same work. There's no difference in that. Okay, so the work is the same. Of course, the pay is different because of the currency and
Yeah.
the purchasing power parity in these two countries. That's keeping that aside. The work is the same. Now, to answer that question, masters you should always try doing. Don't do it because you want to go to a country and just work in that country. A lot of people do it for that. Do a masters because say I want to specialize in machine learning, or I want to specialize in data sciences, I want to specialize in business analytics or something like that, so that you can drill down to that stream and focus on that. Do a master's with that impression, and trust me, if you're an SD2 in Amazon, you are given a chance to go work in the Seattle office. Without
That's for
You can
sure.
do a master's and work in the Seattle office, or you can do well at Amazon, get promoted, and shift to Seattle. It's the same thing. And again,
No,
coming to startup question, I'll just complete. I'm sorry. Uh, I think startups also a good startup. Uh, Definitely, the work that you have would be quite demanding. You'll learn a lot. So that's an equally good opportunity that you get.
definitely, work at a startup is a very dynamic thing. Whatever you will be doing, you'll be playing around with each and everything. You will be experimenting in with a lot of things. And going on for the MS part, if in case I would say from my end, you should firstly be very sure why you want to do the MS. Is it the job you want to do in that country, or do you want to actually learn the core from that subject? As Savar said, that if in case you are going on for the MS in machine learning, you want to drill down, you want to go ahead of that, then only go for the top 20 colleges as you mentioned, or else I would say that you should be one-sided, either a job or a study purpose. That's for sure. Surendru Saha. So Surendru is the person who introduced us, and Surendru wants to ask: is it necessary to do an internship in both a startup and an MNC, and also do a number of internships matter? Okay.
Uh, Again, okay, so if you number one, if you want to do an internship because you want to explore, definitely that's perfectly fine, because trust me, even I don't know probably what I want to do after in the next 10 years. Probably if I want to still write code or move to a management role or something like that, you the world is full of opportunities, right? I know people who have never written code for their entire life, and at the age of 28, 29, they've started writing code and work for one of those FANG companies, whatever you call it, right? So if if you want to do an internship to explore, good enough, go ahead. If you want to do an internship to gain a new skill, go ahead. But if you want to do an internship just for the resume, you need to rethink it. Of course, masters, it does make a difference because it's quite competitive out there. You need to show, okay, I've worked in this field and this is why I want to study at your college, and this is the professor whose work relates to that. Then of course, but from a perspective of a job, I don't think it makes a lot of difference at all.
That's true. That's true, Savar. Okay, I'll just streamline everything to your college. Now, MIT, we will be talking about your college. One thing I want to know, and I would really want the students to know, which all coding societies or groups are there which a student can join?
To be honest, my time it was very different. I know there was Linux users group, there was ICSE, then there was another one which came out in the fourth year. I think I forgot the name, but there so couple of them came, and I think now there are 4, 5. So there are plenty of
Guys, if in case someone knows other of the groups other than what Savar mentioned, please write down on the comments. I would like to know about them, and I'll definitely be telling Savar about them. Which all groups are there presently in your college? So, Savar, which was the group in which you were there?
I don't think LUG was an open group. We used to all go. It was quite. I mean, a lot of the seniors I knew were quite.
Other of the groups other
And
than what Savar mentioned, please write down on the comments. I would like to know about them, and I'll definitely be telling Savar
Okay,
about them.
okay.
Which all, I guess there was an echo, right?
yeah, there was an.
Yeah, that's cool now.
Okay. I think I used to attend the LUG meets and all. They were open and they were quite helpful as such, because the forum there also was. I mean, I'm not biased against any group per se. All the groups are good. All the groups have amazing people. I've had friends who have, at the end of the day, led groups in their fourth year and all of that. All of them are good. You have good people, but I think you can learn from any of those groups. I personally was knew a few people in LUG, so I used to attend their meets. As far as I.
Perfect. Perfect. Savar, any teacher the student can look upon to?
To be honest, of course, teachers are helpful. I don't. I mean, it depends from person to person. There were, I think, most of the teachers, they were helpful, but when it comes to the industry, I mean, teachers would might be more, you can leverage the teachers more in the terms of research and all, because that's what they excel at, right? The thing that they, one of the parts of the main parts of their job is doing research apart from teaching. So you should try leveraging that. In terms of industry and all, I think the better path would be to get in touch with your seniors or alumni from college.
Okay, that's really good. But how, I don't think that the juniors actually reach out to the seniors. Were you being reached out to by any of your juniors recently or lately?
Sometimes I have. I mean, the ones I know personally, of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, you shouldn't hold back, because any MITian, I have randomly reached out to MITians who are working in Canada, Shopify, and all, and we have never met, and they were quite helpful. Trust me, they were quite helpful. I've reached out to an MIT, a senior of mine who was working in Germany. He was one of the startups, and we just had a chat over LinkedIn or something like that, and he was very interested to get me to interview with them. So, and he took a lot of interest. He was like, "This is what you should study. This is what you should read from," and all of that. So, definitely reach out to your seniors. I'm pretty sure 99% of them would help you. Will help MIT, current MIT.
Surely the students need to reach out to the seniors, and definitely the seniors are there to help them out. Could be possible during the college time the seniors are not that helpful, or maybe they are not having that interactive sessions with the juniors. But once a senior is there out of the college, they will be definitely reaching out to the juniors and helping them out, helping the, they can actually help the student not only to get to the right company, maybe they can guide a better path for them. The path is actually very important for each and every student, right?
Yeah, true.
Okay, Savar, before I end, is there anything else you want to tell to the juniors of your college who are watching this webinar? Like, let's again, let's do it in a very tricky manner. Let's again put you down there in MID in first year. How will you, write your journey from day one?
Rewrite my journey.
Yeah,
Probably, see, college, do what you have to do in college. MIT is an amazing place. You guys know it. There are a lot of opportunities in various streams. I think it's one of the best colleges in India for opportunities per se. Not only in terms of that stream or something, you have a plethora of options out there. And the other thing, what I would, so try, what do you do in your college? Try exploring, try interacting with more people, and try getting in touch. I mean, with more of those communities that you're part of or that you're interested in, and do that. Do your college stuff. Do your academics well. Summers, what you can actually do is, summers are the time when you have, I think, 3 months. Summer was 3 months for us. I think the holidays are 2-3 months. That's the time that you should leverage to pick up a new skill. So given a chance, I would have loved to actually learn data structures and algorithms in my first year summer. That would have been really helpful. Number one. Number two, explore, like you said, one of the questions that were asked were, what if I do 2 internships or 3 internships? Good enough. Try exploring different domains of computer science and seeing what clicks for you, right? And then placements, I would strongly suggest, one thing what people do is that they start studying for it. They study like crazy one night before the interview or 1 week before. That doesn't work.
the normal engineering stuff.
Yeah, that doesn't work, because it's a skill. You can't develop it overnight, or you can't develop it over a week. It's very, very difficult. You can't cram a freaking geeks for geeks 100 problems and go for the thing and crack it. It's not possible to do it. Very difficult. And especially in terms of how intense interviews are. I've been through that whole mental. I don't think the major audience here has gone through it. You'll come to it in your fourth year, where you're sitting in that placement room, and someone comes, all your friends who you've been with for 4 years, they're all sitting there. Everyone is nervous as hell, and someone comes out and reads, these are the people who are selected, or these are the people who are not selected. It's very disheartening. It's a lot of mental stress that you have to go through. So take it easy during that time, number one, and start preparing beforehand, so that it goes more smoothly for you. And even if you're well prepared, and even if you know your stuff, and you do not get something, don't be disheartened, because it can be a day, our batch, it happened, the best of the people didn't, who everyone was expecting, this person is definitely going to get in, that person is definitely going to get in, didn't get through, right? It was a surprise, it was quite a surprise, the people who got in and all of that. So that can happen. There can be a day where it might not click for you. It might not just be your day. The question that was asked, it doesn't click that time because of the pressure and all of that. Don't be disheartened. Take it easy. Try, and it's not the end of the world. Like I said, your career is 40 years. It's not that one job that you get out of campus.
Definitely, definitely. That's really good. That's really good. Okay, I thought I really think that you had the whole imaginations of going back to the college. You again went through that journey. You might have enjoyed that at least. So Surendra told me the other groups, the clubs that we have, they have Apple Developers Club, they have Girl Script Society Chapter 2 these days in the college.
Wow, that's quite a number of societies that have been having. Like as such, I think 5, 6 now for computer science.
Adding to that, we also have two more societies. Savar, it's going to be the last question. I'm in the fourth year student, and Bhanu is asking it. I'm a fourth year student right now and preparing for campus placements. I'm practicing data structures and algorithms. How can I brush them up? Is there any place where you would like to suggest him to go and brush up his skills?
Be honest, see, Bhanu, there are a number of options that you have. Stick to what clicks for you. As simple as that. If you find X website, or say you find Coding Ninjas, which is clicking for you, stick to that. Always stick. There's no magic out there that okay, if I practice from this website, that's where the questions are going to come from. No, that's not how it works. Okay, trust me. I've taken interviews and all. That's not how it works. How it works is that try focusing on your building your skills, and if there is this website that clicks for you, then stick to that. And if you think you need to build, you're done with this, or you need to pivot from here onto another one which is on a higher level, go on with that then. But do strategize that. These companies are the ones which are going to focus on data structures, algorithms. These are the companies that are going to focus on the broader spectrum of computer science concepts. So strategize accordingly and allocate time accordingly, because I think a lot of companies even had IQ and aptitude
Aptitude, definitely.
rounds, right? So if you don't crack that, then you cannot sit for those companies. So don't only focus on one thing, but have your options open, and then probably list down the companies that you would like to get into, and then start from there. What you should focus on.
Savar, is it something like I got something in the comments? Like third year is the most difficult year in MIT.
Not precisely, no. I don't think so.
The guy is writing that you have to juggle with your grades and your internship, getting an internship and having this good grade.
Internships, if you don't get those, do the math. I think 3 or 4 companies come. How many people are hired? 20 at max. Number of people that sit for it are 400, 500.
400, nearly 400.
20 out of 400, 500, whatever. There's a very good chance someone might not get it, right?
You'll be rejected in that.
Yeah. There's of course, aim for the best, shoot for the stars. There's no problem in that. But even if you don't get it, you have a lot of other options. And again, if your third year internship is not in a FANG company or whatever, it doesn't make a difference. Placements, a lot of people I knew who didn't get into the internship companies got into the same companies during placements.
That's true. That's true. Perfect, Savar. I guess we have already answered to each and every question, and it was really nice knowing you and really nice to introduce you to your juniors. So, if in case anyone watching this webinar wants to connect directly to Savar, they can go on. Just give me a second. So, if in case anyone wants to connect directly to Savar or directly to me, we both have our LinkedIn profiles attached at the events. They can check that out. And Savar, again, thank you so much for the webinar. We will be in touch, and definitely we both will be working together to get the MIT students to get placed at Amazon itself.
Sure.
Okay, Savar, have